use guns and pit bulls for protection. They are the seeds sown by Mendocino County law, which for years has allowed each of the 88,000 residents here to grow up to 25 marijuana plants for medicinal, even recreational use. Mendocino County Sheriff Tom Allman is on the front line of this community's struggle with marijuana.
People were saying, it's just marijuana. What could possibly go wrong? And now we're seeing what could possibly go wrong.
He told us about an entire neighborhood that wasn't what it seemed.
You're ready for Aunt B to walk out and say hi to Auntie Griffith, and you walk in the door, and it's nothing but mature marijuana. Some of the houses looked like beautiful houses, and there wasn't a single chair in any of them.
What do you mean there wasn't a single chair in any of them?
They were all indoor grows that had been built to make it look like a house with nice wood, white shutters.
So a complete facade.
Absolutely.
Allman says that marijuana commerce is now so brazen, growers even ship their pot to customers via FedEx and UPS, though without the company's approval.
If you were a business that sold shoes and somebody in Florida wanted to buy your shoes, how would you get those shoes to Florida?
Well, shoes and marijuana are two different things.
It's a commodity, and right now, the commodity's been abused.
This is an actual illegal industry that reaps huge profits, and nothing is really stopping it.
Jim Wattenberger was the chairman of Mendocino County's Board of Supervisors.
Does this economy depend on marijuana?
Trish, I'd say that if marijuana was to be 100% eradicated, this county would become destitute. The small mom and pop grocery store, the agricultural product supply store, they're making probably 90% of their annual budget off of products that they're selling that help provide this product of marijuana in this county.
How many people are really engaging in this?
It's very unfortunate for me to state, but I believe about 60% of our populace is involved in one shape or another in the marijuana industry.
60%?
Yes. It's embarrassing as hell. I'm ashamed that we're known for this. I'm telling you these facts in an effort to turn the tide, to look for state and federal help.
We went to the Federal Drug Enforcement Administration to see how an industry based on a drug banned by U.S. law could flourish so openly.
There's a low risk of getting arrested.
Javier Pena spent years running federal marijuana enforcement in Northern California.
If you have parts of Northern California in which economies are completely dependent on marijuana, isn't that on your shoulders as DEA?
I will enforce the law. I will go after the biggest and the baddest, but blaming DEA for a marijuana-based economy, I would say that is not correct.
Well, who else is going to control this?
It's the people who have voted for the legalization of marijuana. Under federal law, illegal. Under state, it's legal. But as far as blaming DEA for a narco-based economy, I think that's not a correct assumption.
I hate to say it, but Mendocino County is the true epitome of 2008's Wild Wild West.
36 and 13 units to clear that location.
Just how wild it is can be felt in a new crime wave that's hit this region.
Mr. Hopkins, your next witness, sir.
More and more thieves are targeting homes believed to contain pot.
This is a Browning Arms 9mm semi-automatic pistol.
This defendant, Renato Hughes, was convicted of assault and burglary. Hughes, along with two accomplices, invaded a home to steal marijuana.
911 emergency reporting.
Please help me. The guy's got a gun.
This is the 911 call from a terrified mother.
We need an ambulance. Okay. They slammed my son's head in with the bat.
Next, gunshots. The homeowner shoots and kills Hughes's two accomplices. The marijuana trade has grown so large that even the environment is paying a price. This is industrial pollution from illegal pot production.
They were pumping out a lot of marijuana bud.
Jim Harrison, the county's environmental health officer, and Sheriff Tom Allman toured the damage left by a massive indoor marijuana grow.
Doesn't
think he was making $1 million a year?
Easy. Easy. I was thinking more like 5 or 6. Wow.
This is what it looked like months earlier when it was raided. Authorities discovered 2 industrial-sized generators worth $500,000. They were used to power 4 rooms, just like this one, all filled with marijuana. Harrison says that it will cost as much as $50,000 to clean up the mess.
The pollution from the generators and the diesel fuel that they use and the herbicides, pesticides, fungicides, those are all bad. Almost every grow that I go to, there's a diesel spill or a waste oil spill.
The people who make their living in the pot trade can be found all over Mendocino County. These men who wanted to keep their identity secret may not fit your idea of drug dealers. Their backgrounds include journalism, politics, and law enforcement. Between them, they share 75 years of pot-growing experience and feel strongly that critics of the marijuana industry are just blowing smoke.
It's not considered disruptive to the community. It's actually more of a benefit to the community, and people all know this, and that's why it's not considered a serious crime here.
This grower says marijuana helped him dig out of a subprime mortgage disaster.
I knew something of the business previously, and I felt that this was the best way for us to survive at this time.
What would happen if the crop just disappeared overnight? What would happen to this economy?
Well, there would be a lot of foreclosures. The same thing if Apple closed their plant in San Jose.
There would be a lot of businesses closed, too, because they wouldn't have any customers anymore.
Yeah, the economy would crash. It would tank.
As the marijuana boom continues, so does the split in this community between those who grow and those who don't.
I'm very much a part of my community, and I'm as much a law-abiding citizen as anybody. Just because you get a traffic ticket and have broken a law, does that make you a criminal?
In June of 2008, voters put Mendocino's marijuana laws back in line with the rest of the state, lowering the legal number of plants that can be grown to 6. But that has by no means settled the fate of the county's major cash crop.
I know particular families that have come to this community who have been so successful. They now own 3 or 4 homes and have brought in other relatives from Washington, Oregon, Nevada, Utah, to partake in this gold rush.
It's a family business.
It's a family business and everybody's making money.
While some are rushing into Mendocino, others say enough is enough. Joy Tucker says she simply couldn't wait any longer.
We truly believe that it's different here, and so we are willing to move and completely uproot our entire family.
Coming up.
I think this is some of the best medicine out right now. It's real good. It's damn good.
In hundreds of storefronts around California, marijuana has gone legit, and business has never been sweeter.
We have caramels, candies, pies,
brownies, peanut butter, chocolate chip, chocolates, truffles.
That's next when Marijuana Inc. Inside America's Pot Industry returns.
These are actually mother plants that have been cut on to produce little cuttings.
Before a packed classroom, Joey Araneta is teaching a most unusual course.
The advantage is that you can have something vegging already in another space.
And if the curriculum is unusual, so is his job description.
Hey, I'm a medical marijuana instructor or professor.
Welcome to Marijuana 101.
Parts per million is at 40. That's very low.
Not just a single class, but an entire school, Oaksterdam University, devoted to pot.
Vaporizing is one of the best ways to take cannabis.
Students in Oakland, California pay $250 for weekend courses showing them how to grow marijuana, harvest it, and most importantly, how to avoid getting arrested in the process.
That basically gets us through federal law.
But I had never even in my life seen a marijuana plant growing. That was my very first time I've ever seen one.
Given her background, Lori Strand might seem like the last person you'd expect to find here.
I have a husband who is a contractor. I'm a real estate agent, and we we have a Dalmatian. I mean, we're just a very normal. In fact, my husband is at the swim meet right now with my 3 boys because I'm here at class.
It's thousands of people like Lori Strand, seemingly normal in every way, who inspired the Showtime hit Weeds. The central character, Nancy Botwin, is a busy suburban mom with 2 young boys who grows pot to help support her family. A page that could be ripped right out of Strand's life.
I'm not going to start growing and selling today. I mean, that's not going to happen, but I can see that perhaps in the future that could be my new calling.
Oakland was the first city to issue permits for cannabis.
And Strand's marijuana class is just one small part of a local culture centered on marijuana. This particular part of Oakland is known as Oaksterdam, the name borrowed from Amsterdam, the most pot-friendly city in the world, where marijuana is completely legal. Now, that's not the case here in Oakland. But you know what? You'd be forgiven for thinking it was.
This used to be the big shopping district.
We met up with Richard Lee, the founder of Oaksterdam University and an out-in-the-open pot entrepreneur. He hopes to revitalize this struggling area of Oakland through an increasingly legitimate marijuana trade.
You spent a lot of time in Amsterdam. Is that really your model? Is that your template for what you would love to see happen here?
Exactly, yes. When you go to Amsterdam, you see that it's just tourism and jobs, and it fits in with the rest of the economy.
Your goal is to show that it can be done safely, but at the same time, you're making money at it.
Right. Yeah, we believe in earning an honest living.
California is leading a growing movement toward an increasing permissiveness when it comes to marijuana. 11 states have decriminalized first-time possession. Here, there are hundreds of places where you can walk into a store and buy pot. All it takes is a doctor's recommendation, remarkably easy to come by, which entitles you to a medical marijuana card. Under state law, you can then possess up to 8 ounces of pot, or about 160 marijuana cigarettes.
This is the second dispensary you opened that we're heading to right now.
Exactly.
Lee owns the local marijuana dispensary, also known as the Blue Sky Cafe.
Are kids allowed in?
In the front. That's part of our service. They can come in, get a smoothie or